Hey everyone. In this particular lecture, we're going to talk about writing and presenting a business case. But before we actually get into that, I want to give you some basics about business cases. I want to cover what a business case is, why it's used, when it's used, and who creates it. So starting with what is a business case? Well, the actual definition is it's a decision-making tool used to determine the effects of a particular decision will have on profitability. Ultimately, what that's meaning is it's a document that's presented to decision makers and it's giving them options and telling them, okay, based on these certain actions, here's the cost benefit ratio, here's the return on investment by making a decision one way or another. A business case is used to identify and highlight problems or opportunities that a business can take, and then the different options they have and the recommended solution by the person that's creating the business case. Ultimately, it's the driver of projects. Many companies will start projects solely from business cases that are written. So they make their employees write business cases, and that gets put in front of a decision-making committee, a person, a group, where they're saying, okay, here's all the business cases. Now, what ones make sense, right? What ones should we move forward with based on the return on investment solving that problem has for the business? So we alluded a little bit into it, but why is a business case used? It's really used to convince decision makers of a certain course of action. So a business case is done to identify the problem, lay out potential solutions and their cost and their benefits. But the big thing is the recommendation, right? That person is driving and saying, here is what we should be doing, and here's how we should be solving this problem, and we should be taking action to do that, and here's why. So it's kind of almost a sales technique to sell the business on investing money into solving that particular problem or working towards achieving that particular opportunity. So the next thing is, when is it used? I want to make sure I cover two things here. Number one, a business case is really done on almost all projects. The only difference is whether it's written or not. Business case is kind of how you work through if you're going to move forward on something. You work through that decision process. First off, okay, what are we trying to solve? Okay, next off, what are the different solutions that we could potentially use to solve that problem? What's the return on investment? What's the cost? What's the benefit to be able to do that? And then what's the recommended solution? And so most of us do that in our head as we're working through and deciding if we should be moving forward on a course of action. But a business case is a formal document that's done because that document that's being created is being created by a person that's not making the decision ultimately. So they're creating that document to sell the decision maker on moving forward, one, taking some action, and then two, taking action in the recommended way they want. The second thing is, this is kind of obvious, and I've talked about it a little bit already, is the business case is done prior to a project. So there's no point in doing a business case after you're already working on the project because the business is already investing in that particular project. But it's done early on, usually to get funding, to get budget, to move forward and actually kick off and square up a project to actually move forward and solve for that. So that's when it's done. That's when a business case is used. So who creates it? Well, it's different per company and per industry and really per project sometimes. Different companies will have certain departments or projects that need a business case, other times they don't. But in regards to who creates it, it can be a lot of different people. The most common people I see created are business executives. So those are, upper level management. This could be VPs, this could be directors. So people that have managers or above reporting to them. Then you have the business manager. So this is a person that leads a team. They could be creating the business case, or it could be a business analyst. And there's roles of business analysts where they're located more on the business side of things. And that's what they do. They're driving forward business cases to then, sell the business on making the improvement or solving the problem. And then that business analyst works that project through to completion. So the kind of who in this case, for this particular lecture, we're going to assume that we're creating the business case, or at least we're helping create the business case. So that way you understand writing it as well as presenting the findings of the business case.